Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now, in February of 2006, 26-year-old Sam Shelton would have a chance encounter with a former student of his, 17-year-old Ashley Reeves. This, of course, would be in Mardi Gras in St. Louis, and it's around this time that Sam would find out that Ashley was doing very well for herself, and as she was when she was 12, she was very popular with her friends and had a really great relationship with her parents and was really big into sports as she was when she was 12. She would even tell Sam that she was in a very happy relationship with a boyfriend that she had been in a relationship with since she was 15 years old. And it should have been at this point that Sam should have realized that he probably shouldn't be flirting and carrying on inappropriate behavior with teenagers, but he really just thrived on it. It really just was an addiction for him, and he would be flirting with these girls back and forth, and eventually he would be flirting back and forth with Ashley to where he would actually ask her to have a private one-on-one basketball play session, to which Ashley would tell him yes. And a few days would go by, and it's there that Sam and Ashley would have their little private basketball session. But it wouldn't be what most people would think. It actually was an actual basketball session. But this, unfortunately, would be where Sam would start doing something very inappropriate. It's not really sure what the conversation between Ashley and Sam would be, but it is around this time that Sam would actually begin to groom the 17-year-old Ashley. And you really feel bad for Ashley at this point because she's really put in a really bad position, as Sam is here not only being 9 years older, but also a former educator of hers and being in a position of power, and he is clearly abusing this power to groom and charm Ashley. And in perfect narcissistic fashion would begin charming Ashley and really love bombing Ashley. After this basketball session, it's around this time that Sam and Ashley would start meeting up more frequently, not just to play basketball, but even to go on trips to the mall like they were on an actual date. And it's actually after this date to the mall where Ashley and Sam would actually exchange numbers. Sam really trying to sink his claws in and trying to manipulate and control Ashley. It's around this time that Sam would actually start calling and messaging Ashley constantly, to the point that they were messaging and calling all the time. He would even go and tell Ashley, because they were going out so much and talking so much, that he would convince her that they were in fact in a romantic relationship. Which also goes into play just how bad of a position Ashley was in. And because Sam knew about Ashley's boyfriend Jeremy and knew how special he was to her, that he would consistently create more and more secrets for Ashley to keep, not just from her parents, but actually Jeremy, as a way to put a wedge between not only her and Jeremy, but her and her family. It's never been confirmed, but it probably was his intention to put a wedge between her family and Jeremy so that Sam could actually keep Ashley all to himself, as he was becoming extremely obsessed. And like we did in our first video, Jeremy knew about Sam. And so anytime that she did spend time with Jeremy, it would not be long for Sam to call her or to be messaging her. But to Jeremy, he didn't see what was really going on, and he really thought that Sam was just only a friend. Weeks would go by, and if I hadn't mentioned it, Sam actually lived with his mother and grandmother, but they were barely ever home. So on the nights that his mother and grandmother weren't home, he would actually take Ashley and bring him over to his house. And it's around this time that their relationship would turn very sexual. And as messed up as this is, this would not be the worst thing that Sam was doing, because Ashley was not the only teenager that he was abusing. Because in another school, he would actually be dating another teenager. Now, granted, she would be 18, but it's not the point. He would have multiple girlfriends from multiple schools. And like I said in an earlier video, his MySpace tag would literally say he had a girl in every port. Well, I guess port would be code for schools. And unfortunately for Ashley, this relationship would carry on for 2 months, where something would happen that would send Sam over the edge to where he would lose complete control, to the point that would just end in tragedy for Ashley. And that would be, of course, on the day of April of 2006. Now, on the morning of April 27th, 2006, it would just start as any other normal day. Ashley would wake up. She would go downstairs to have breakfast with her family, and she would tell them that there was a part-time job interview she wanted to go to after school. And after that, she would want to go play basketball with her friends, and asked her parents if it was okay. David and Michelle would say, "We don't care as long as you're not out too late," which they would set that 10 o'clock curfew. She would then go to school and approach her boyfriend Jeremy, and she would tell him the same thing she told her parents, and would ask to use his SUV, to which he said he had no problem. And after school, of course, she would get into Jeremy's SUV, drive over to the part-time job interview, and then go over to Lauderman Park, where she would frequently meet up with Sam. This would not be a meeting like any other time, as when she met up with Sam at this time on this park on this day, she actually wanted to talk to Sam. So when Sam arrived, she got into his passenger side of his car, and they drove over to a more secluded part of the park. It's around this time that she would tell Sam that she just couldn't keep on going with the secrets. She didn't like keeping secrets from her family. She did not like keeping secrets from her boyfriend, and that she did not like how this relationship was and just wanted to end it. This, of course, would send Sam over the edge. He would try everything in his power to keep Ashley, as he wanted to keep that power and control, but she wasn't having any of it. And because she was taking power back for herself, Sam decided that he was going to take what power he wanted back. And it's around this point that he would lunge at Ashley, and he would put her into a crippling chokehold. Ashley would be fighting for her life and desperately trying to get away from Sam, but he would just grip tighter and tighter and tighter, until all Sam could hear was a loud popping sound, which would be the sound of Ashley's neck breaking. Realizing what he had done, he would look around his car to see if anyone had seen him. No one had saw him. And it's at this point that he decided, well, I can't just leave Ashley here, so I'm going to have to go to a different park. He would then drive about 10 minutes from Lauderman Park and go to a different park called Citizens Park, and would actually begin dragging her body to a more wooded area of the park. As he was dragging her body, he had realized that there was still life in Ashley, so as he got into the wooded area, he would begin choking her again, to the point that her tongue would be protruding out of her mouth and she would be completely foaming at the mouth. He would realize that he didn't have enough strength to choke her, because she was fighting for her life desperately. And it's around this time that he would actually take his belt off and just wrap it around her throat and pull with all of his might. She would still be foaming at the mouth, and this would be a sight that Sam just couldn't bear to watch. So he would actually roll her over onto her stomach and put his knee at the small of her back and pull the belt with so much force that the belt actually snapped in two. Sam would think to himself, I have now unalived her. I have now, there's no way that there is any life in this woman. And he would get into his park and he would drive home. And he would show no empathy about what he had done to poor Ashley. In fact, he would actually take a shower and get dressed, and would actually go down to the country club and would begin line dancing all night. Right around the time that David and Michelle Reeves were desperately looking for their missing daughter.